Good morning, everybody. We are working on the Kadoo again. I'm still battling some issues with the drivetrain. I had to take this brake rotor off, take it down to the machine shop to be turned because my lathe isn't big enough. But we're just gonna move on. I've driven it around the neighborhood a little bit, and I'm just dealing with some fine tuning. So I gotta do some more band adjustment apparently. But anyways, we're gonna move on from there, and we're gonna start working on our front rack, which is going to house our winch here. Our Orcish winch. And then our ox beam fog lights, because we're taking this thing hunting. We need to be able to see, and we may need to be able to drag a deer out or drag ourselves out with that. So, but the way I'm going to build it, I'm going to build a rack that goes on the front here. It's going to fit right in here on the top, and then, but I'm going to build it out of this. These are the bus seats, and you can see you got these hoops already made here. So I got 4 of those. I'm gonna cut this thing, basically gonna cut these all up and make a rack for nothing. And then we'll mount our winch and stuff in there, and it'll be right down here. And I'm gonna try and make it as low profile as possible, sit on top of here. My goal is to basically, make it sit low and then make it no thicker or no taller than the winch itself. So that's the plan. So I'm going to go ahead and start cutting these things apart, cutting these bench seats apart. So now that we have these 2 hoops set up or welded up, we got to build the pieces that will go in between them, which are going to be, there's going to be a 3-inch space between them, which means I need to cut a 4-inch piece of tubing because I got to notch both ends. And then same thing here, I figured out I'm going to need 22 of those to go around this whole thing. And then I figured about a 4-inch spacing on the bars that are going to run this way. So that equals about 8. It's going to be 7 or 8. I'm not sure. Once we get them in there, we'll space them evenly and see what works with the winch and everything. But, and the gas cap, because the gas cap's on the hood of this thing. So 8 of those going this way. So that's not quite, I don't have enough, I didn't cut up enough out of that out of those seat frames yet. So we're gonna cut some, and then we're gonna go back to the seat frames, cut some more off and clean some up on there, because we need quite a bit of tubing to make this happen. So right now I have enough tubing to make 4 of these longer 18-inch pieces and a handful of the short 4-inch ones, but we're gonna get to cutting. Alright, now that we got all those pieces cut, now we gotta notch them all. But I gotta go pick my son up from school, so we'll do that later. Alright, we're on to the tubing notching process. So what I'm doing here is I'm using my notcher. We lock a piece of tubing in there, we notch it, we take it over to the sander, clean up the edges, and clean this part where we're going to be welding. And we bring it back here. So we got 5 done of the 22, and then I've got 1. Where's my 1? Oh, I got 1 of the long ones that fit in here. Right there, just like that. So we got 8 of those, so we got 7 more of those to do. We've done 5 of these. So gotta get the rest done. So we're gonna get to it. All right, here's where we are so far. This is the base of the whole thing. I had to fiddle with the spacing a little bit in order to make sure I have plenty of clearance for the gas cap in there, but you can't really tell too much. I think it looks good. It's gonna have little feet underneath it in the corners to mount it. Other than that, let's throw this winch on here. Turns out I think we're gonna have plenty of room for the winch, so that's good. The winch plate, we're gonna try and get the winch plate centered. And then if we can get this stuck out of here a little bit, we should have plenty of room to get to the gas cap and have our winch centered. I was worried that we were gonna have to have our winch offset in order to clear the gas cap, but I think we're gonna be okay. And we can even, no. Yeah, so that'll be fine. So yeah, that's what's next. Weld this all up, do the uprights, put our top hoop on, get this plate ground down, and we're just gonna weld it directly to these 2 pieces of tubing here. And then we're gonna have a rack here pretty soon. All right, quick update. We got our feet welded on here. Here's the other 2 on this side. And this is the winch plate that came with the winch. I just ground the back side of it down, and then I ground because I had powder coat on it. Ground the powder coat off the bottom here, and then welded it up, and the heat caused the powder coat just to basically bubble off the whole thing, and then I just took a wire wheel and it came right off. I was gonna leave it on there if it was gonna stay, but the heat bubbled it right off, like I said. So the next thing we're gonna do, this is actually getting very close all of a sudden. We're going to, we gotta put our second hoop up here. And make our standoffs. But first I gotta clean this second hoop up. We got the spots where it's welded together. We gotta clean up, and we'll fix it up first before we put it on here. Alright, so we're at this point. I thought I was done, but I remembered that I was going to mount these fog lights to this. So now I'm back over here thinking, how am I going to do that? I want them out here. I mean, so I can mount them traditionally, maybe just put a tab off the side. I don't think I want them up like high like this. I think I want them down here. point, I just want to get it on here and get it, get the holes marked. Make sure everything is straight. Looks good. That's about right there. So I realized when I put this on earlier that I can't bolt the winch to it. So I gotta unbolt it, bolt the winch to it, put it back down, then we'll finish putting all the bolts back in it, and then we'll be done. That's the plan anyways, for tonight. Alright, it's done. It's all hooked up and put back together. Let's try the winch here. Okay, there's our winch. So there's the winch. Winch works. And then we got our fog lights. Man, these things are bright. In comparison, here's our headlights. Boom! That's going to wrap it up for this episode. We got this rack fabricated. It started off as 4 bus seats from my school bus out there. And turned it into this. And I'm pretty proud of it. So thank you guys for watching, and we'll catch you on the next one.